And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the afternoon show that is providing plenty of comedy, horror, and silliness to go along with it, only known as Music Village. And apparently during the break, Maestro asked me, why didn't we say Hocus Pocus for the horror movie of the week? Well, that was a Disney movie and technically was not considered as a horror movie. Even though witches tried to suck the soul out of little kids, technically it could be a horror movie. Yeah, you're right, Maestro. Why didn't I go with that? But besides horrifying movies that features witches trying to steal souls like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat, I'm looking at my watch right now. Oh, it's just about that time. It's the witching hour, which means it's time for us to be brought up to speed on news stories that happened from this week from, you guessed it, all around the world. And in our first news story, for any of you fans out there who was upset with the season finale of Adventure Time, it looks like HBO is bringing the show back to life with 4 miniature series specials that will take place starting as of 2020. Yes, that's right, folks, and the miniature stories that they have thus far is one for Bebo, one for Obsidian, one based on Wizard City, and last but not least, one based upon Finn and Jake getting back together to do one last great adventure. And in my opinion, I think this is pretty cool. And the fact that they're doing a one-time special for this show, I hope in the near future they do get the rights to do another Teen Titans special to wrap everything up to finally get us off that cliff they left us on for well over, 5 to 7 years? I think it's almost been a decade since that show's been off the air. Man, I feel old. But besides my wishes of future Teen Titans movie to wrap up everything for that series, if you guys want to go ahead and check out all the cool stories and the backstories behind them for this said 1 hour special that will be taking place as of the start of the new decade, you can go ahead and head on over to the website only known as discussingfilm.net to check it out for yourselves. And in other news, or more or less end credit music news, for you fans out there of Fiona Apple still waiting for that brand new album to come out as of next year, you get a little piece of a sample of it as of this past Sunday's episode of Bob's Burgers, where she would sing a song entitled Pig Trouble, featured during an episode of the Halloween variety called Pig Trouble in Little Tina. And I've noticed as of late, Bob's Burgers tend to have very cool songs to wrap up their episodes, and this is no different. And the fact that Fiona Apple was able to do it, yeah, pretty cool. And on the Twitter page of Lauren Bouchard, she would say, huge thanks to Fiona Apple. Huge. And I agree. And if you guys want to go ahead and take a listen to this cool song for yourselves, or if you happen to miss the episode, you can head on over to the website only known as Fox.com to check out the episode, or head on over to the YouTube page of one woman known as Fiona Apple Rocks to check the song out for yourselves. And in other news, and more or less music news, it looks like to honor the memory of John Lennon once again, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr would reunite to do a classic cover of John Lennon's song, Grow Old With Me. Now, the cool thing about this song, folks, besides the fact that they were able to get Joe Walsh from the Eagles to participate in this song, but they were also able to get Jack Douglas alongside with them to provide percussions and string arrangements during the song. And even Ringo Starr himself would say that they were able to add in one line from Here Comes the Sun during this said cover, which in a way makes it all 4 of the Beatles themselves being a part of this song in some way, shape, or form. And after listening to it, I could really feel the emotion behind the cover that they decided to do, and the fact that they also added that this is not a publicity stunt, well, I already figured that much out. And the fact that they decided to release this song just 2 months shy of the anniversary of John Lennon's death, I got a feeling it's a little bit of an homage to John Lennon out there, so yeah. Definitely a nice gesture by Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. And if any of you out there who currently wants to listen to this song for yourselves, you can head on over to the website only known as consequencesofsound.net, or head on over to the Spotify page of Ringo Starr to listen to this song for yourselves. And trust me, it's definitely a very peaceful song to listen to, especially on these congested afternoons. It'll definitely ease up the mood a little bit. And with that last regular news story out of the way, folks, you guys at home know what time it is. It's time for us to go into yet another edition of Video Game News.
3, 2, 1, go.
And in our first video game news story, for you Ubisoft fans out there hoping for the games God Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Watch Dogs Legion, unfortunately it's been announced as of this week that the games are going to be delayed until the 2020-2021 fiscal year. And I, for one, I'm not upset about this in the least. Because as you do know, as a person who has the utmost patience for a game to come out, and for a prime example of that, Kingdom Hearts 3, sometimes it takes time for a game to actually get to the point that they really want it to be good. And the co-founder and CEO of Ubisoft would say the following: it's harder to generate interest for a sequel to a live multiplayer game when prior interactions benefited from years of optimization. Consequently, we need to make sure there is more time between each interaction of live games. Which makes sense, really does. And as a little bit of more bad news to tack on for this, folks, it looks like The Last of Us Part 2 will not be available until May 29th of next year as well. And along with that, these games won't be available until February and March of next year along with it. So for those who are really chomping at the bit, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. And for those who want any further details on these games that has been delayed, you can head on over to the Ubisoft Twitter page, only known as Ubisoft, to check it out for yourselves. But trust me, we will try to keep you informed as news develops for these games being delayed. And in other video game news, or more or less Conan O'Brien video game news. And yes, Maestro, we're going to try to have that featured on the show more often when he has news from video games from his Clueless Gamer segments. Because it looks like while traveling in Tokyo, he would be able to go to the exclusive office of one man known as Hideo Kojima, and would be able to be featured in the game of Death Stranding. And the best part about it is, folks, if you think he was going to be silly in the game, you're right. And the silly thing he would be able to do is the fact that he would be able to give the lead character of the game, known as Sam, an otter hat that allows him to swim like an otter. I kid you not, folks, when I say that. It's really a thing. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out the special message Hideo Kojima gave to not only Conan O'Brien, but to the fans out there who wants to see him in the game, or you want to check out the little miniature back and forth that they decided to have in the offices of Hideo Kojima, you can head on over to the Twitter page of Hideo Kojima, or head on over to the YouTube page of one man only known as Team Coco to check it out for yourselves. And trust me folks, it is absolutely hilarious. And before I forget folks, in 2 weeks this game will be available for the PlayStation 4 as of November 8th of this year. And in other video game news, for you fans out there who are still upset about the NPC-focused Wastelanders update for Fallout 76 getting delayed until next year, it looks like they've decided to make up for it by giving you a very exclusive premium monthly subscription membership that'll allow players to actually have not only private worlds, unlimited storage for crafting components, scrap boxes, a monthly allowance of 1,650 atoms, and other cool things you can get along with it for the low price of a monthly subscription of $13 a month. Or if you want to skip the monthly subscription, you can go for a hefty year subscription for well over $100. And in my opinion, I'm gonna give this one a wait and see sort of feel to see how in the world the private servers work before I decide to get this for myself, due to the multiple amount of problems in the past that happened for Fallout 76, including the launch and even people getting into the developers room for the said game. Not meaning that I'm not gonna give it a swing, but at the same time, wait and see. That's what I recommend folks, wait and see. And if you guys want to check out the complete list of goodies you can get from this subscription pass for Fallout 76, you can head on over to the website only known as Bethesda.net to check it out for yourselves. And with that said, folks, for this week, you have all officially been brought up to speed. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back into this music, and when we return, we'll be back with the final segment for Music Village for this week, right after this. So don't wear your horn out in traffic just yet, folks, and stay tuned.